All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So my buddy Paul Esden found a really interesting line shift when looking at who's expected, right? Who's the favorite to becoming the Jets' Week 1 starting quarterback. Okay, now, right now, it's a co-favorite. There's two guys tied with the same odds at plus 350. Derek Carr and Aaron Rodgers. Now, what's really interesting, and Paul goes ahead to point this out here, Jets' odds to land Aaron Rodgers shifted from plus 750 to plus 350. Meanwhile, the odds of landing Derek Carr dropped from plus 250 to plus 350, meaning Carr and Rodgers are now co-favorites to become the Week 1 starter. What's really mind-blowing about the situation, we're trying to piece together all the little bits of information, whether it's coming from Ian Rappaport, whether it's coming from Adam Schefter, trying to read the tea leaves, what's going to happen with the Green Bay Packers moving forward. Do they want to move on from, at the time next season, a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers, 39 now. Obviously, they got Jordan Love right behind him, ready to go. He feels like he's ready to play. And of course, whenever you're talking about moving off of Aaron Rodgers, who just signed that extension, you're going to be clearing, quite a bit of money for your franchise. So you're looking at all these different things, and then you throw on top of that Aaron Rodgers himself in the Pat McAfee interview, where he didn't really it's classic Aaron Rodgers here, but he didn't really commit to anything. He left retirement open. He left staying with Green Bay open. He left changing teams open. Anything is really everything's up in the air with Aaron, but he didn't seem like there was this massive rush, this huge deadline that he had to meet. I got to make my decision in 2 weeks. I have to make my mind up in 3 weeks. Not at all. He did say that he's going to be just taking this next month to kind of just hang out and relax. But with all this smoke around Aaron Rodgers and his future, it begs the question, are the New York Jets realistic here? And again, as the days go on, it feels like it's just getting more realistic and more realistic. And you could even point to one of the reports, I believe it was from Adam Schefter, could be wrong on that, but rumor has it the Packers will not be trading him to the NFC. So cross off half the league. Now we're looking at the AFC. There's really only a handful of teams. The Raiders, the Titans supposedly have some interest, maybe Indianapolis. New England can definitely afford them if they want to go down that route, and then the New York Jets. Aaron also said that he's willing to look at the current structure of his deal and possibly make some adjustments depending on the situation. So we're looking at teams right now in the AFC that A, have the need for a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers who could still play at a high level, B, have the trade compensation to offer Green Bay. Right now, the rumor is 2 first-round picks. Woody Johnson supposedly would be happy to pay that, and also the money that would come with Aaron Rodgers. But there's really, to me, I feel like it's down to the Raiders and the Jets. Of course, he could wind up in Tennessee. Of course, he could wind up in Indianapolis. But if Rodgers moves on from Green Bay, or I guess another way to phrase it, if the Packers also want to move on from Rodgers, I just have a hard time seeing it not being either the Jets or the Raiders here. Both teams to me make so much sense. But again, there's also that chance that he stays. And he made that point on Tuesday, where he said there's something to spending your entire career with one franchise. And I could respect it. Not many people can say that they have done that. Former Packer quarterback Favre, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Michael Jordan, it's a rare thing. The first two that pop into my mind are Derek Jeter and Eli Manning, but looking at Rodgers, it's obvious the future's murky. It doesn't seem like there's a decision coming anytime soon. It's not clear, right? We don't have that answer, but I gotta be honest, it does feel like, again, as the days go by, we're inching closer and closer and closer to the reality where Rodgers is playing on a new team. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm not saying that I'm predicting that to happen, but I'm just getting the sense that it's becoming more of a tangible idea, if that makes sense. Now, we have seen this kind of stuff from Rodgers before. I personally thought he was going to Denver last season, right? Nathaniel Hackett winds up in Denver. They obviously wanted a veteran. They had the draft picks. They had the young players to deal away. I thought Rodgers was for sure going to Denver, but didn't happen. Ends up signing that extension with Green Bay. Now, one thing that's really, really interesting is looking at the rest, right? Because it's not just like Rodgers, he's, minus 100 to becoming the Jets week 1 starter. It's still plus 350. And right there with him is Derek Carr. And Derek Carr, yes, although the numbers did go from 250 to, plus 250 to plus 350, it does still seem like Carr could easily happen. And with Carr, it makes a little bit more sense when we're talking about timetable, right? If the Jets have this immense pressure to get a deal done, to go land a veteran quarterback, and Rodgers is like, no, I'll make my mind up whenever I feel like it. Could be in June, could be in July. Like who knows when Rodgers is going to be ready. If teams are calling about Derek Carr, because that decision has a deadline. February 15th is the date that $40 million with Carr becomes guaranteed. So Vegas has to make a decision here. Do the Jets want to take that risk, right? Joe Douglas rolling the dice, all this pressure up top from ownership. I don't know if he's going to be around. I don't know if Saleh's going to be around. Do they want to take that Rodgers gamble and wait around, or do they want to play it safe? Do they want to maybe trade away a minor package, comparing it to what Rodgers is expected to get, which is the 2 first-round picks? Right now, it's looking like Carr is going to net like a mid-round pick. That's it, because it's 100% obvious that the Raiders want to move on. They want to go in a different direction. They're just trying to clear the money and be done with it. So it's a big question. Timing is everything here, but outside of Aaron Rodgers and Derek Carr, Jimmy Garoppolo is still in the mix here at plus 375, Lamar plus 450, and then Mike White plus 550. It's kind of interesting to see Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Lamar Jackson all have higher odds than Mike White, who's actually, he was on the Jets last season. But it just goes to show that change is a real thing. And we look at this Jets QB room, it needs work. They need to land that veteran upgrade. So no matter what happens, and this is the bright side too, no matter what happens, the Jets are going to be getting a legitimate upgrade, whether it's Carr, whether it's Rodgers, whether it's Lamar Jackson, even a Jimmy Garoppolo. I know he's not some like top 5 elite level quarterback, but I mean, compare Jimmy Garoppolo to what the Jets had last season. If we compare, just experience, statistics, being around the game of football, having playoff experience, like Jimmy would be a humongous upgrade. And I don't want that to go unnoticed. Now, I will say I do feel like it's a little unlikely because Mike LaFleur is now gone, and there hasn't really been any sort of ties to anybody from the 49ers staff. Saleh's open to having that system change, and it seems right now that it's Nathaniel Hackett. He is the front runner, but you also have Brian Johnson. I don't want to rule him out. Kevin Patullo as well. Those three, I really, really feel like it's going to be one of those three. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Of course, this isn't, we shouldn't take these odds as like the voice of God or anything like that. They can change instantly. Right, they could change, at the snap of a finger here. Nothing is set in stone. And by the way, I feel like I've said Aaron Rodgers' name like 100 times within the last 48 hours here. So I appreciate, you putting up with me and putting up with the channel. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and as always, go Jets.